Bad Cryptober is finally here. That's right. We celebrate by building the Bad Crypto Street Team, where you can get a piece of 1 billion Bad Coin tokens being made available by your benevolent hosts. How many fractional Bitcoins makes a whole Bitcoin? And we caught up with goldmoney.com owner Peter Schiff, who says Bitcoin is a bubble and it's bound to become worthless. Bitcoin in billions and bubbles. Oh my. Lock and load for episode number 31 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, ignition.
Who's bad?
Und welcome, friends far and wide from over 150 countries around the world, to the Bad Crypto Podcast. My name, Joel Comm. His name, Travis Wright.
My name, not Joel Comm.
Was that an Asian accent there?
I don't know. It just kind of came out, and I don't know why.
My name, not Joel Comm.
My name, not Joel Comm.
Hi. So, and hi to all of you.
Who also not named Joel Comm.
And this is the podcast for the crypto curious and the crypto serious. We're the blockchain blockheads, making seemingly complex subject matter simple so that you can understand it at least as much as we do. But you might want to listen to another show to really get depth, because we're here to make crypto not only interesting, but also fun.
We're new kids on the blockchain.
Well, no, we went
Travis
from
Wright,
NSYNC
yeah,
to New Kids. This is like boy band central now.
that's pretty bad considering that I'm not a fan of any of the boy bands except the Beatles. Big fan.
They are not a boy band.
Oh, no. They were definitely a boy band in the early 60s. You can't tell me they weren't a boy band in the early 60s. That would have been like, Justin Bieber, and then he was all like, oh, I did acid, and then I wrote Yellow Submarine. That's never happening, right? But they were definitely a boy band.
Yeah, they will. Justin Bieber will never write any material the quality of the worst Beatles song, like even of a Ringo song, right? Octopus's Garden beats Despacito, any day of the week. Anyway, we're glad you're here. So many of you are now holding Badcoin, the official token of the Bad Crypto Podcast. There's so many out there, and we are excited because
Hear ye, all across the land.
it's the town crier.
Mommy.
Bad Cryptober has finally arrived.
What is that?
And what is Bad Cryptober, you might ask? Well, Bad Cryptober is where we will be giving out up to, get this, 1 billion bad coins, the official token of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
Oh my gosh.
And tell them where they should go to immediately begin checking this out.
All right. So the best way to do this would be to go to badco.in/Bad Cryptober. So it's Bad Crypto, BER, right? Because it's October, you guys.
Yeah, get down with that. And if you're on Facebook, there's also an easy way to do it on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Bad Crypto. Look on the left side and you'll see amongst our tabs is one that says Bad Cryptober. Click that. So whether you go to the short link, which takes you to a web page, or whether you go to Facebook, what you'll see is our offer and a lot of different activities that you can participate in to get free bad coin. For example, if you sign up for the Bad Crypto newsletter, 100,000 bad coin. Subscribe to the podcast, 100,000 bad coin. There's a lot of activities. Create a Facebook post, retweet us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, visit our website, make a blog post, refer your friends. You'll see all these different activities you can participate in. And what do they get each time they participate, Travis?
Yeah, you actually get a entry into the competition. So each one of these will earn you some bad coin, right? And then each one of these activities that you do, some of them are worth more than others. They will actually give you entries into the competition, because one of you out there, it could be a crypto dude or a crypto chick, one of you will win 25 million bad coin. And you will actually be
5 million.
you'll actually be the largest holder of bad coin aside from the hosts of the Bad Crypto podcast.
Yeah. And of course, the bad coin is a token we're giving it away for free. It's not for sale. Therefore, it's not a security. And our terms say it is void or prohibited by law. But I don't know where there's a law saying you can't give away something to anybody. Even in China, I would think that you could give away tokens because we're not asking you to invest anything in them. And will they be worth something one day? Well, that kind of depends upon people, if they trade them or not. We're not selling them, but you might. And that's completely up to you because just like anything else that is in your possession, you can do what you want with it. So come play with us, badco.in/bad Cryptober. And there is one field on this that's mandatory, and that is the BitShares account. Right, Trev?
Yes, because in order for us to pay you the bad coin in which you have earned, you need your BitShares ID. So type that in there because we got to know where to pay you your bad coin. And if we don't have your Open Ledger ID in there, then you ain't getting your money, which isn't even money. It's tokens. And so you're even getting any of that either.
Right. You'll get nothing and like it. It is Bad Cryptober.
It's cry to your mama. And it's Bad Crytober.
Oh, yeah. On that note, here's a question.
Bad Crypto voicemail. You have one new message.
Hi, Travis and Joel. This is Lisa Pickrell. I have a question. If you buy a quarter of a Bitcoin or a half of a Bitcoin, and then later on buy like 3/4 more to get a complete Bitcoin or another half, does that give you like quarter, half, or does that give you a complete Bitcoin? That's what I'm wondering. Thank you. Bye.
So I'm going to pose it like this. So if I have $1/4, which is a coin, right? If I have one of them and I have 3 more quarters, that's pretty much $1, right? The same math principles work in crypto, even though they are fractions. So yes, the quick answer would be 1/4 of a Bitcoin plus 3/4 of a Bitcoin is a Bitcoin. 1/2 of a Bitcoin plus another half of a Bitcoin is 2 halves of a Bitcoin, which equal a Bitcoin. Now to the news.
I now know why you started out with the Asian accent, Travis. Because this news story on Bitcoin.com, virtual currencies expected to be regulated in China on October 1st, which of course has already happened. The date has happened. If you're listening to the show now, whether or not China has already moved forward with this, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's a really beautiful graphic. That's one thing that I really like about this particular post is the beautiful graphic of China and the flag and cryptocurrency there. So they're saying that, so there's a Chinese media outlet, JINSE.com. They are saying that the laws governing the use of virtual currencies in China will be enacted on October 1st, which is now. And so we've not heard any updates on this, but they say that the general principles of the civil law of the People's Republic of China legislation was voted on and passed back on March 15th. And the crypto regulations are going to be incorporated here shortly. So who knows if that's actually happening, but 2 Chinese Bitcoin exchanges will be operational when the legislation comes into effect. So we shall see what happens here coming up in the next day or so.
But panic. China's banning ICOs and I have to sell everything and I'm losing all my crypto. HODL, people. That will let you do what you want to do because we're not financial advisors. Don't take that as advice. I'm hodling. I'm holding on for dear life because that's what it really means.
Hold it like it's hodl. Hold it like it's hodl.
And I think that China is definitely in this game and crypto is here to stay.
Yeah. And they have most of the Bitcoin mining is in China. Like they're going to do away with it. There's so many influential people who are part of that whole ecosystem now that you have an idea that wasn't going to last for long. They're just trying to get a hold of all this stuff and get rid of all the scammers and the pumpers and the dumpers and actually regulate the thing a little bit. So we'll see how it all pans out, Mr. Joel Com.
Speaking of panning out, it's time for us to pick our altcoins for this month where we each throw $100 in real fiat currency at the coin of our choice. And I guess the transition about it panning out was that it didn't pan out so well for me last month because my district OX really crumbled when everything else fell apart. I want to see if it bounced back at all. Your basic attention token is at a quarter still. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's no reason we can't continue to track these, but DNT is currently sitting at 0.047. So it's a little higher than it was when we recorded the last episode. For those of you not following the game, Travis and I each bring 3 altcoins to the table, each of which must be under $5 in current price value. And then we each pick one that we are going to toss $100 of our hard-earned money at. And then at the end of the month, we see who picked the right horse. So, Travis, what you got?
Yes, and just to remind everyone, I picked a better horse last month, so I want to let you know I am not tired of all this winning yet, you guys.
So much winning.
So much. So I am looking at a few different coins, right? So we're picking out 3 that we think may do well this particular month. The first one that I'm going to talk about is AdX. And AdX is the advertising exchange. It's a decentralized ad exchange, and they recently had their ICO. The coin has had some ups and downs, but they are a blockchain-based ad exchange. They are looking to disrupt the existing online advertising landscape. So they're trying to address advertising fraud, privacy, and consent to receiving messages and whatnot. It is originally built on the Ethereum smart contracts. I think they're working on something with Neo as well. And so, yeah, I'm a marketing technologist by trade. I'm actually giving the opening day keynote at day 2 of the Martech conference on the 4th of October here in a couple of days. And I actually included AdX in my presentation. I think that they could be a pretty interesting play. And they are currently $1.21. Actually,
$1.21.
It went up again. It's at $1.33.
Oh, but you're going to be buying it at $1.33. So if you choose it. So my first pick is EOS. EOS.io. This is a really interesting one. So first of all, their ICO, you cannot participate in it if you are from the US, but it is being traded on exchanges. And the reason I say ICO, even though it's trading, is they're doing something really unusual. It's almost a year-long ICO with new tokens, 2 million new EOS tokens being put into the market every day. Now, I've watched the price fall quite a bit. And what's interesting about EOS is that this is a platform that creates infrastructure for decentralized apps that can be commercial level scale. So it's built on Ethereum. It's highly technical, actually, but I know that what they're doing are providing tools that make it easy for those who are developing. And that's what I like about it, is that, there's a lot of people that want to develop tokens on the platform. And if they're creating tools that make it easy, I kind of look at that as like WordPress for blogging, right? A real simple platform. And EOS is currently sitting at 70 cents. And it's fallen quite a bit. I think there's a bright future for it.
Yeah, it looks like when it originally came out of the ICO, it was about 287 to something like that. Got up to 359. Ooh, 456. Ooh, 476. Nice. So that's a good choice there, Mr. Joel Com. Next up is one that is very interesting to me, is Nexus. NXS. And Joel Com and I, we actually went to the Nexus Earth conference in Aspen, and we were able to see some of the things that they're working on and have some conversations with the folks over there. They're actually working on a 3D blockchain, which looked really interesting to me. We saw a presentation from the CEO, Colin Cantwell, over there. And so, it seems interesting to me. They're doing some really interesting stuff. They want to create a decentralized internet. And what they're doing is they're launching these cube satellites up into low level orbit, and they're going to be all connected, and it will actually be outside of the traditional internet. They're saying that it is quantum resistant, so it will be able to deter any quantum computing type of hacks over time. And so pretty interesting to me. Right now, it looks like the coin is $1.88. Actually, it went up to 190. And so that is one that I'm considering.
Sending up satellites. Me like a ground control to Major Tom.
Yeah, his dad, I guess, runs Vector, was like a big wig in the aerospace industry. Vector.
What's our Vector, Victor? Right.
Over to you,
Okay.
Mr. Joel Com.
Number 2 for me is one that you've probably heard a lot about, and it's because it is being built for banks. It's called Ripple. It's actually the 3rd highest market cap, I believe. Yes, number 3 right now in coinmarketcap.com. The symbol is XRP, and they bill it as the fastest and most scalable digital asset enabling real-time global payments anywhere in the world. And so they're really going for banks to be able to source liquidity on demand in real time. So fast movement of monies, and for payment providers to be able to expand their reach into different markets to lower foreign exchange costs, provide payment settlements, which is what it's really coming down to. And I have sent Ripple from one account to another before, 4 seconds settlement, 4 seconds, as opposed to Bitcoin, which is a minimum of 10 minutes and could be an hour, in Ethereum, which is at least 2 minutes. I've usually seen Ethereum settle in 3 to 5. So Ripple at a 4-second transaction. Now there are 38 billion XRP in circulation, and the current price is just under 20 cents. And number 3 for you, Mr. Travis Wright.
Yeah, I want to add one thing to that. Is like, so my son, he's getting into crypto as well, right? And so I've been paying him for different tasks, and we have him creating we have a ledger that we both keep track of for the task that he's working on, right? It's a Google Doc that we're working on. But then, so I owed him, I think, close to $60 from like a couple of, weeks worth of work and task that I'd given him. And he decided he wanted to have some Litecoin. And so I had him download the Loaf wallet, right? And then I had the Loaf wallet. I sent him Litecoin. It was there so quick. It was like 10 seconds. Boom. He had it. And then it went through the verification process, but he could see it on his end so quickly. He was pretty excited about that. So now as Litecoin grows over time, he will have some to hodl.
Fast.
Fast. All right. My third and final selection this time around is Steem. And Steem, yeah, it is a blockchain-based social media platform where folks can actually earn rewards from this. And the reason that I chose this week is because the SEO value of Steem, if you actually can go to steemit.com, it's off the charts. Like if you go in and try to type in like altcoins in October, right? And boom, there's like the top 2 posts were from Steem. So they're getting some really, really great SEO value. And basically you earn rewards for posting. You can earn Steem every time you post content that is valued by others. You can earn Steem by, being the first to upvote popular content. There's commitment rewards. There's saving rewards. There's all kinds of unique ways that you can earn via Steem. And it looks like right now Steem is worth $1.44. And they have about $3 million worth of volume a day. And so there you go.
He's got Steem. And by the way, I'm already holding some Steem. I've been a fan of Steem for a couple months now, and I'm hodling, and I do think it's a good call. My final coin that I'm bringing to the Bad Crypto podcast today is called Waves. WAVES, as in making waves. There's 100 million waves that are in circulation. The website is wavesplatform.com. And very simply put, Waves allows you to issue and manage and trade and store your own digital currency. That's the bottom line. So you're basically the token that is used to be able to use this platform. In fact, we're going to do a show in the future that shows people how to create their own token on a couple different platforms. Waves will probably be one of them. Another one is BitShares, which is where we created Badcoin. But just this last week, Travis, I tried token creation on Waves, and I made 1 million Joel coin.
Very nice.
And it cost me the price of 1 wave to create this token. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's of absolutely no value, but I wanted to see how easy it was to issue one. And I think Waves has got a bright future. Currently, it's sitting at $4.95, just underneath the $5 threshold necessary to participate in our friendly monthly competition. So with that said, of the three, Travis, that you brought to the table, those three being Nexus, Steem, and ADX, which one are you going to put your $100 on?
I, Mr. Joel Com, am putting my money on Nexus because it had a really big spike and then it had a big dump. It got all the way up to like 350 maybe, 370. I'm not even sure exactly how high it is, but that was in September when everything else was going down. It went up and now it's going down, and knowing what we know about their technology and the team, and I mean, they had Ron Paul there. They had Peter Schiff there. They had Max Kaiser there. Jesse Ventura. They had Roger Ver. They had all these amazing
Travis
people.
Wright were there.
Travis Wright was there. Joel Comm was there. Chris Snook was there. G. Edward Griffin was there. Lauren Southern was there. Amazing people. Yeah, I think what they're doing looks pretty interesting to me. But again, we're not financial advisors, but this is where I'm putting my money on this month.
Okay, he's going with Nexus. And for me, I really do like the future of all three of these that I've brought to the table today. I think with EOS continuing to have their ICO still for months to come, I'm not sure now is the right time to invest, but I think eventually, in my personal opinion, that it will be a solid platform. I also like Waves quite a bit, but I'm a bit of a gambler. Now, I don't really do Vegas much, but when it comes to business, I don't mind taking risks. And I really feel like the buzz that's happening in Ripple is, it's soon going to make waves. No offense to Waves. And so I'm betting that if the banks are betting their money on a currency, then we should pay attention to that. And well, at least I'm going to, and I'm going to put $100 down on XRP.
Very nice.
We'll check in at the very end of the month, last episode of the month, or the first of the next month, depending upon how the schedule works out. And we'll let you know how it panned out with our friendly competition.
Absolutely. You got to know when to hodl, know when to fodl.
Wait, what is fodl?
I don't know.
I have no idea either. Let's go to today's.
Walk away, know when to run.
Oh my gosh!
Count your crypto when you're sitting. Sorry.
Let's go to our feature. And speaking of Nexus, the altcoin that you are choosing to invest in for this month, we were there. And we did do quite a few interviews with a number of people. And one of those is Peter Schiff of goldmoney.com, who's very much a Bitcoin contrarian. But he's not the only one, is he?
And that is true, right? So, it was a really interesting interview that you'll hear here in a moment, but he's not the only one who has been down on Bitcoin. Now, we do have a couple of articles you guys can read here under the feature section. So one of those who really doesn't think that Bitcoin is all that great is Warren Buffett, right? He's probably the most revered stock investor in the world, right? Everybody knows that guy. And he said this in 2014. He may have changed his tune now, but I don't know. We've not seen any update. He said, stay away from it. It's a mirage, basically. It's a method of transmitting money. It's a very effective way of transmitting money. You can do it anonymously and all that. A check is also a way of transmitting money as well. Are checks worth a whole lot of money just because they can transmit money? I hope Bitcoin becomes a better way to do it, but you can replicate it in a whole bunch of different ways. The idea is that it has some intrinsic value is just a joke in my view.
I really would rather know what Jimmy Buffett thinks.
Yeah.
How much Bitcoin for a cheeseburger in paradise? Yeah, there's a bunch of these guys. Of course, we've talked about Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Chase. Mark Cuban has been anti-Bitcoin, but however, now he's got a venture capital firm that's investing in Bitcoin technologies. And if you look at the show notes, you'll see a bunch of these guys, hedge fund managers, former Federal Reserve Chairman, Ben Bernanke, that's how you pronounce it, right?
Yep. Even Nobel Prize winning economists and professors and whatnot, they're out there going, meh. But, the price has still gone up and there is way more demand than there is supply. And, that's how the economics really work, right? So yeah, check the show notes for those links. I think you'll find those interesting. But meanwhile, we did have the chance to sit down with Peter Schiff. I was really happy to see that Nexus brought in a contrarian. Peter is very bullish on gold. Goldmoney.com is his site. He even had a gold Visa, an actual gold. It was, how many grams? 50, almost 2 ounces. Yeah, almost
2 ounces. It was a credit card, and it was solid gold. So that credit card would cost you about, $2,500 to carry that credit card. Anyway, we did sit down with him, and you can hear the interview now. And of course, the Bad Crypto Extra video version of this interview, if you want to see what we look like, is on our YouTube channel and the Facebook page. So let's listen in. And welcome to another Bad Crypto Extra here at the Nexus Earth Conference in Aspen, Colorado. And we are with Peter Schiff, a name that you may know from the business and the podcast space as well.
Absolutely. So, Peter Schiff, you are the CEO of Euro Pacific Capital, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And you got the Peter Schiff Show. You're doing all kinds of stuff, talking about
Peter Schiff Show podcast.
Very cool.
People should subscribe to it. Listen, or I put them up on YouTube as well. But
very cool.
Schiffradio.com.
Schiffradio.com.
Yeah, that's right.
Is your tagline "Schiff Happens"? Is that?
No, the Schiff Happens was one of the many different slogans we had when I ran for Senate in 2010.
Excellent.
Yeah. We had a bunch of Schiff heads out there. Schiff for brains.
Schiff for brains.
Schiff T-shirts with all
Very nice. With the Schiff emoji.
That would be funny with the blue suit and the green tie and all that.
Very nice, very nice.
So Peter just participated in a panel that was a bit contentious because here we are at a blockchain Bitcoin conference, and Peter thinks Bitcoin is what?
No, I don't think it's anything. That's the point. That's the problem with it. It's nothing.
And thank you so much for watching. Boom.
I just think that there's a lot of pie in the sky expectations for Bitcoin to succeed as a alternative currency, and that it's going to catapult to extraordinary values. $1 million of Bitcoin, and so you have a lot of people that are just their judgment is clouded by their greed and their refusal to see the truth. Because if I'm right, it means they're not going to be rich. Right? And so people want to be rich, so they built up a defense mechanism and say they don't want me to be right. So they just don't. Their mind won't see it. It's a cognitive dissonance. And the problem is when you get a group of people that all believe the same thing, it reinforces it. But when I hear all the arguments, when I hear people arguing with me trying to convince me that I'm wrong, and I hear how irrational what their argument is, and the things that they have to tell me make so little sense, or they have to say things about gold, for example, which are so ludicrous that it shows me, look, they're not thinking clearly. They're incapable of a rational thought because their judgment has been clouded by their belief in what they're hoping for. And yes, the idea that we can get rid of the powers of the central banks and we can just set up our own currency and we can all get rich in the process, right? Because all the people who believe they're in on the ground floor of this, and they want everybody else, of course, to buy Bitcoin because it drives up the price of what they already own. But they don't want to admit that it's not going to work.
So I have to ask you about this because of the centralized nature of the central bank, right? And they can, with the Federal Reserve Bank not really being a federal agency, being its own private business, and then with the U.S. Treasury and how they print dollars, they can with quantitative easing, there's no cap on the amount of money that's being printed. So that's kind of a problem for a lot of the people who like Bitcoin.
There is a problem, but Bitcoin's not the solution to that problem. It's just another problem waiting to happen. What people should be doing is using gold as an alternative to the dollar or to the euro or to the yen. And now people are saying, well, but gold, it's not as easy. I can't use it to buy a cup of coffee with my iPhone. But yes, you can. See, that's what people are overlooking, technology that actually would work. Like there's a company called Gold Money that I work with. And what Gold Money does is it enables you to go online using your phone and buy some gold, right? Take your dollars and buy some gold. And now you own the gold. It's your property. It's in your name. It's in a vault, a Brinks vault. And you can pick which vault you want in Switzerland, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, wherever you want it stored. And now you own the gold. But you can now exchange any fraction of the gold that you own through an app on your phone, and I can use it to buy a cup of coffee. The merchant can either directly accept my gold if they actually want the gold in exchange for their coffee, or if they want dollars and not gold, instead of using the app to transfer the gold, I can use the free Visa card that they give me, MasterCard rather, and now I can convert my gold to dollars and buy my cup of coffee. But I believe
that makes sense. That's a good idea.
That's real G money.
It is. My question on that is that there's so much paper gold that's just all this contracts, paper gold and paper silver, and it's like 200 times amount of gold to actual physical gold.
There is a lot of speculation in gold. There are a lot of people, buying gold that have no intention of taking delivery from people who have no gold to deliver.
Right.
And there is this paper market, and I believe that the existence of this paper market has probably suppressed the price of gold from where it might otherwise be.
I agree.
But that's not going to happen indefinitely. That's going to suppress it for a little while, and then it's going to take off again.
So what will it take for Bitcoin to ultimately fail? Because we've heard again and again, Bitcoin's dead, Bitcoin's dead, Bitcoin's dead, and then it rallies again, and there's all these other currencies. What will be the nail in the coffin?
Look, I mean, if government doesn't put the nail in, right, because governments could certainly outlaw it, and they can do things to, if it's not outlawing it, they can require any institution that deals in Bitcoin, whether it's a bank or whether it's a store that allows people to convert Bitcoins, that they're going to require that merchant or that financial institution know who that Bitcoin owner is by getting their passport, getting ID, getting a utility bill, so they can verify the owner. And of course, once you start doing that, you're going to lose a lot of the appeal of Bitcoin.
Some of those exchanges do that now, like Coinbase, to verify, to be able to up-level the amount that you can actually buy. Like if you just go on and like a regular Joe Schmo, I think you can only do like $250. But here's my debit, or here's my ID. Now I can do, and my bank accounts. Now I can do $2,500. Or if I put my passport and this other stuff in, and a picture of my face and something, then maybe I can do $10,000 a week or something. So there's some of those limits that are on there right now.
Yeah. But that could be imposed, though. I mean, maybe they have a de minimis exemption. I don't know. But so there's a big spectrum between outlawing it and just making it more difficult to use it. They certainly, they could declare it a security, and now it has to be registered. And you need to be. I mean, there's a lot of things that they could do. But even if it doesn't get to that, what could happen is the price could just collapse. Now you've had, the biggest collapse that we had. When once Bitcoin was on the radar, not when it went from like 50 cents to 10 cents or whatever, but I mean, when it had that big rally from 100, 200 up to 1,000 or whatever it went.
2013,
and then all of a sudden people were talking about it in the mainstream, right? Now, because they didn't talk about Bitcoin on CNBC until that happened, right? All of a sudden it's out there, people are talking about it, and then it collapsed back down to 200. And and it stayed 200, 300 for a few years, and then it had this big rally. And on the way to 5,000, it had a rally. It got up to, 2,000, then went down to 1,000, whatever, then went up to 3,000, and then went down, then went up to 5,000. And so far, it's been, but if it really breaks, maybe if it breaks back down below 1,000, and then we have an 80% drop, I don't know that it's going to be resurrected yet again. I mean, that could be the final. Now, maybe 5,000 isn't the top.Maybe it's going to go to 10,000 and then crash. I don't know. I mean, you can't figure it out.
Do you own any Bitcoin?
No, I don't know. No.
Right.
Any crypto at all? Are you crypto clean?
I don't own any. Yeah, actually, my brother bought a few $100 worth. He couldn't resist. He's like, he's like, I can't take it anymore. I got to get in.
I got to get some, Schiff. I hear you. That's funny.
But yeah, I just think that it's going to end very badly. And look, this is not the first bubble that I haven't participated in. I didn't buy any of the .com stocks. Obviously, I could have made a lot of money if I bought them and then sold them before the crash. I didn't invest in real estate during the real estate bubble. I could have got in and out. And so I could have made a lot more money. I mean, it seems like this bubble was right up my alley, right? I mean, this is like perfect. This is tailor-made for Peter Schiff. Right. And I knew about it. I didn't know about Bitcoin at the very beginning when it was like pennies. By the time I found out about it, it might have been 10 or 20 bucks. I can't remember, but it was still like relatively low. Right. But I mean, I saw. I said, hey, this is an interesting thing. And I said, too bad it can't work. Because I knew that ultimately it wouldn't. So I outsmarted myself because obviously I could have bought quite a bit of it back then. And I could have, the question is though, how much would I still own? I mean, let's say I put $1,000 or $10,000 in back then. would I have, when would I have sold? I mean, there's no way to know. It's easy to say, well, yeah, here's how much money I'd have today. It's assuming I didn't sell any of it, so you don't know.
What would you need to see for your mind to change? Is it a period of time or adoption by institutions or governments?
Well, governments are not going to adopt Bitcoin. I mean, governments may, in fact, decide to issue a cryptocurrency as opposed to a paper currency. I mean, there's nothing that stops the Federal Reserve from creating FedCoin, or that would be worth $1, right? And you can go to the Federal Reserve and buy a coin for $1, right? They would take that dollar out of circulation and replace it with the crypto dollar, and now you could use it just like Bitcoin.
Okay,
right?
so back to the question.
But there's no way the government is going to say your Bitcoin is money. They're not going to give up that monopoly.
So what would it take? What would make you go, I was wrong?
I don't know that. I suppose if years from now, right? I mean, there are Bitcoin bonds. People are paying their rent in Bitcoins because the landlords, if people's wages are in Bitcoins, prices are in Bitcoins, if Bitcoin stabilizes, and I suppose if it does all the things that people think it's going to do, then I'd have to go back and admit, gee, I was wrong. But I don't think there's nothing with price. It doesn't matter. The price is not going to do it. There are people that say, well, how much higher does it have to go before you admit you're wrong? Price is not going to convince me that I'm wrong, because a bubble getting bigger doesn't change the nature of the fact that it's a bubble. But I ask people the same thing. I throw it in reverse. I say, well, how low does Bitcoin have to go before you admit you're wrong? And their answer is, it doesn't matter. So I say, so it can go all the way down to $1, and you're not going to, so they're not going to sell. So the people that believe in it, there's nothing that can happen that's ever going to change their mind based on the price going down. So it's just like, I'm not going to be convinced that it's going to work just because more fools have decided to buy it. And a lot of it isn't necessarily a fool. There are people that are buying it just because they think that there's going to be more fools to buy it at a higher price. So there could be people that don't even care whether it's going to work in the long run. They're just saying, hey, I'm going to buy it at $3,000 because it's going at $10,000. And I'm just going to buy it now and sell it then. I triple my money. There's a lot of that going on. These cryptocurrencies are casinos at this point. And of course, it's not just Bitcoin. I get emails all the time from newsletters trying to get me to pay them $50 to give me the name of the next Bitcoin. Like, I can get rich. They've discovered the next secret, penny crypto that's going to go up 1,000%. Just give them $50 and they'll tell me what the name is, right? Like if I knew the name of a currency that was going to go up that much, I wouldn't tell anybody. I would buy it myself. What's the point of telling? Obviously, what's happening is these newsletters are buying up these coins and they're pumping and dumping them. They're giving.
There's
them
a
the
lot
name
of pumping
coin.
and dumping going on in there, but I want to look at it like this for you, Peter, because I'm a marketing technologist, and through some list, one of the top 5 marketing technologists in the world. So I see a lot of technologies, and if we look at the next 3 to 5 years, we see 5G is happening on our phones. We're going to have 20 to 30 gigabit connections on our phone, our refrigerator, our toothbrush, our car with autonomous driving, AI, machine learning, deep learning. All of these technologies are increasing in time. And so it tells me from my technology side of my brain, and Joel's a technologist and futurist as well, it's like it makes sense that fiat printable currency will obviously go away eventually, because it's so hard to transfer $1 million. Like, oh my God, I got to transfer $1 million. You got to go, all the security, you got to get this big truck, and you got to hoist all this. If I want to send a bunch of gold, like, oh my God, I got to pick up all this gold, and then if I want to send money from, like, I live in Kansas City. If I want to send money to Kansas, so if I want to send money like to the Philippines, it's got to go from Kansas City to New York, then it's got to go to the city of London, then it's got to go to Zurich, then it goes to Hong Kong, then it goes to the Philippines, and everybody gets their piece of the coin, right? From those transactions and remittance fees. So to me, as a technologist, I look at it and go, maybe Bitcoin's not the one. Maybe Bitcoin's the first one. And quantum computing's coming soon. So some of these hashes might be hacked down the road. But what I'm looking for is, what is that quantum secure one, the cryptocurrency that is going to not be able to be hacked, right? That, to me, is the one that's going to go super big. Bitcoin may be around for quite a while. It's hard to say in my perspective, but digital currency, I don't think, is going to go away.
Well, look, digital currencies could be here if governments issue them instead of paper currency. And in fact, most of the paper currency exists as a digit anyway. Most of the money in circulation is not in a physical note. It's just a digit on a computer ledger, right? It's a debit or credit, whatever. So we already have that to an extent. But to the extent that governments want to take their paper currency and convert it into a digital version of the same thing, they could do that. But I don't believe that the private sector is going to create out of thin air a currency, a digital currency that will be accepted as money that is backed by nothing. But what the private
Federal Reserve note is really backed by nothing.
But I said, but that is issued by the government. It's legal tender. You need to have dollars to pay your taxes. And there's a long history of dollars, of a relationship, the culture around it. So
I'm with you on gold. I like gold.
But if the private sector is not going to create a digital currency from nothing and have it work as money, it's just not going to happen. People are speculating that's going to happen, and a lot of people think they're going to get rich.
A lot of powerful people don't want that to happen.
Right. Well, it's not going to happen. It's not about people not wanting it to happen. It can't happen, right? Because and obviously Bitcoin can go up, right, and then it can crash, right? It can go up and go down 90%, and even though you think it's going to recover, during the time where something that goes down 90% cannot be your money, right? I cannot base prices. I cannot function if money is that volatile. Money has to have a stable relationship with other commodities, other goods and services. Even if prices rise a couple of percent a year, it's okay. I can still deal with that. But if you have
the volatility that bothers you so much about crypto?
Well, and the ultimate fact that there's nothing behind it, which is why it's going to be volatile.
Well, there's math and proof behind it.
But the math doesn't do me any good. I mean, I can't do anything with that math.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't do anything with the math when they can do quantitative easing and print as much money as they want.
But you can do something with gold, and if you won't, somebody else will. I mean, gold has value. And
ding, 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 ding. Next round.
That's great.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, appreciate it. Peter Schiff, Bitcoin Contrarian, a podcast host of his own, and go ahead and subscribe.
I'll show you guys. Another thing you can do with gold is you can actually make it into a debit card, because my gold money card is actually made of gold.
That is beautiful. Look at that.
That's my debit card.
I don't see the number there, but look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's made of gold.
Okay, well, gotta go.
Actual
that was
nice try. Yeah,
that's sweet.
So go goldmoney.com. Anybody can get one. Goldmoney.com.
Is it an ounce?
It's more than an ounce. It's 50 grams. But if
I love that,
you can buy one.
I want one of those now.
You can buy one of these. They'll give you a plastic one for free. You can get a free MasterCard. So you can
plastic one.
Well, then be a baller. Buy one of these. Goldmoney.com.
Goldmoney.com.
That's the company that sells them, and you have your account, and you can now get out of cryptos into digital gold, which is not digital gold because it's actual gold. It's your real gold that you own, that you can take delivery of whenever you want, or you can allow it to be stored.
This is now the bad gold show.
It's the good gold show.
The good gold show.
And as we always tell you, do your own due diligence. Figure this stuff out. It's your money. We are certainly not financial advisors. We are blockchain.
I'm a financial advisor.
That's
what I do for a living. Yeah.
He is. So you can listen to him, and you can blame him if your gold goes up or down. And thanks for watching, Peter. Thanks for joining us.
Good luck, guys.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Great stuff. Yeah. So that was a fun interview. And, we like to bring folks on who maybe are contrarians as well. We don't mind having a debate about, crypto. And we want to have all points of view in, right? We're not just full on bullish on the crypto. We want to chat with others who maybe have some different opinions that maybe can persuade us in other ways. So he actually is a financial advisor.
He is, but you know why? Because your Bitcoin can go to zero.
Yeah.
All your crypto can go to zero. There's no guarantee.
Yep. And what's interesting is after the Nexus event, and this happened just a couple of days ago, they announced that Gold Money has integrated Bitcoin despite Peter Schiff's bubble comments. So I actually believe that him being at the Nexus conference and sitting through some of those sessions and listening, he was like, maybe we should collect some of that Bitcoin stuff.
Oh, snap. So I don't know if he's collecting it. I think they might be taking Bitcoin as payment. From his point of view, he would likely say, hey, if people want to give it to us, we'll turn it into, gold right away. They can pay us with whatever chump money they want. So who knows? So there's the other side of the coin for you right there. By the way, the story linked from Cointelegraph.com if you care to read.
And one other final piece of information in there, which was interesting. We will have the Peter Schiff and Max Kaiser debate in a future episode. And what was interesting is that we also sat through Edward Griffin's presentation where he talked about the creators, conspirators of the original Federal Reserve Bank, and Jacob Schiff was one of the people who helped create the Federal Reserve Bank, who we did some research on. Looked like he might actually be related to Peter. So kind of interesting to see. It's like maybe he's so gold and pro-gold and against other, different types of currencies for more than one reason. So who knows?
Do you mean that there are people with financial interests that might be trying to manipulate markets? Not in the human race.
Gasp. Potentially.
Hey,
I don't know. I liked Peter. I thought he was a pretty good guy. He seemed pretty
Peter was a good guy.
Yeah,
I was just busting out in a song, and I was singing "Thank you" to all the people, all of them, especially those of you listening. We're really grateful for you, and we had our first Bad Crypto Live episode last week, and it went really well. We had about
really average.
Yeah, no, I thought it was above bad. We had, in the period of 45 minutes or so, about 160 of you came through and listened to us blabber live and ask questions. And
we gave away some bad coin.
Yeah, we gave away bad coin, and one came on. So watch for those each month. Of course, email us, badcryptopodcast@gmail.com. I hear the music coming on, so I'm going to talk faster. Facebook.com/badcrypto, on Instagram, Bad Crypto Podcast, Twitter @badcrypto, and our phone number is...
It is 708-885-9030. And don't forget about Bad Cryptober, badco.in/Bad Cryptober.
Stay bad, my friends. Stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.